We drove an all-electric Mercedes-Benz EQS SUV with passengers and cargo, raising the curb weight to over 7,000 pounds to Los Angeles, California, 3,000 kilometers from Calgary, Alberta. We now have to get home. We traveled on day one through the Mojave Desert, 830 kilometers to arrive in Lake Tahoe. Spent $57.46 to get there. Join us for episode 9 as we travel to Klamath Falls, Oregon. Okay, here we are. We're just leaving Lake Tahoe. We stayed at the Marriott there. Really nice resort. Had a bit of drama this morning. Milo wasn't feeling too well. He was coughing up a bit of a storm. We had him at a doggy daycare yesterday. We think he might have picked up a bit of a kennel cough. Fortunately, he's got his shot, so he's going to be okay. I had to put him on a bit of an antibiotic. We had to rush from Lake Tahoe back into Carson City to a fantastic hospital called the Carson City Veterinary Clinic and Hospital. They got us in right away, put him on some antibiotics, and he's doing great right now. I had to drive down that same crazy mountain that we had to drive up to get there. I used a strong recuperation on the descent down that hill, and basically upon using that strong recuperation, it actually put power back into the vehicle. And it's funny because I left the hotel with 99% and I arrived 17 miles later with 98%. Unfortunately, I got back to the hotel and I ended up with 89% charge. 17 miles each way, you're talking 36 miles, and only use 9 or 10% of charge. Was pretty amazing. We're driving today to Klamath Falls, and it's going to be a challenging drive. We have to drive to Reno first and charge at a Target there. It's going to electrify America. The EQ intelligence is telling me to top up to 95% when we're there. We're going to go to the full 100. We don't want to take any chances. It's saying that when we arrive at the Klamath Falls, we're going to have approximately 21% charge based on 95. So by pushing that extra 5%, we should have 26% charge. But we have to also take into account that we're driving through a heat wave. It's going to get pretty hot here today. We're also...
What? We're going to have to drive through a heat wave?
Yeah, we're driving through...
I'm not rolling my window down.
Yeah. It's not going to be great if you roll your window down if you're driving through a heat wave. So we're going to be driving through a heat wave. We definitely know that there's going to probably be a bit of loss of kilowatts for that reason. We also have to always be mindful of our roof box because, you know, the car has no way of knowing that there's a roof box on it. It just has to take an average of the kilowatts used per 100 kilometers. I'm not sure if we're going to be pushing it as far as we did in the desert today, but it's definitely going to be a bit of a push and a squeeze. Stay tuned. We'll keep you posted. For now, enjoy the beautiful scenery. This is a gorgeous drive. I highly recommend it for anyone. Please remember to like and subscribe. Tell us if you've had any major crazy hiccups on a road trip before where it had something to do with the pet, with the kids, something that kind of threw you for a loop. I'm sure you've had scares as well on the road trips, not just with pets, with probably children. So please let us know your comments and what you've experienced with that. But we'll check in with you guys once we get to Reno. Here we are at the Target, charging up. We're at 99%. It's creeping and crawling at 25 kilowatts right now to get that last 1% in, but we're going to squeeze every last bit of juice out. It says that we're going to be at 100% in 2 minutes. I got 99% in my battery, but not one single family member except for Milo in the car. Kind of crazy, but exactly what I assumed. It was supposed to be a quick 20-minute charge. Of course, the family is not anywhere to be found. They're loving it in there. We have a 256-mile journey and 320 miles of range. We are leaving Reno, crossing back into California, and on our way over to Klamath Falls in Oregon. The destination's 245 miles away, and we have a minimum of 293 and a max of 293. So I guess it's saying it's pretty confident that it's 293 for our range. There is a charge point in Susanville. It's a 6.6 kilowatt charger. It's approximately an hour and 15 minutes from here. Not sure we're going to be able to hang out in the car till 6:47 p.m. So we'll charge up a bit when we get to Susanville. We're in the eco mode, driving the speed limit right now of 65 miles an hour. We have 91% charge, 291 miles, which is the minimum that we're going off of right now, and an ETA of approximately an hour and 15 minutes from now. So we'll charge up there, grab some lunch. I'm sure everyone's going to be hungry by then. They haven't had lunch yet. We haven't had lunch yet, only breakfast. Might as well just take our time at lunch and top up a bit on that 6.6 kilowatt charge point. The drive tomorrow is a lot easier than this. There's quite a few more rapid chargers along the way. And the day after that is the same story. And then, of course, from Kelowna to Calgary is also really good that way too. But this is a bit of a push today, and we are very fortunate that the EQS has a 108 kilowatt hour battery, because there's very few electric vehicles that can actually make this journey today on this little charge. We're about 23 miles away from Susanville, California. We're going to be arriving there with 69% charge. When we first left, it said we were going to arrive there with 71% charge. So pretty good that we've maintained the margin of error of about 2%. So it's fairly accurate. Probably could still arrive without having to stop and charge at this level 2 charger. Even if we end up putting 5% back in or 6% back in, it's going to be a peace of mind. It's AC charging, so normally that type of charge will hang out a little longer. I was just looking on the trip computer. We've been averaging from when we left Calgary, before we headed back, we've been averaging 21.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is pretty awesome consumption overall. We are going to push this to the end today, so we'll see how this goes, and stay with us. We're going to be in Susanville, California in a matter of 20 minutes or so, and we'll let you know how it goes. We are on our way to Klamath Falls. So you can see from the road we're driving on here why there's definitely no EV chargers on this route. We are in the middle of nowhere. We've got another 159 miles to go and 216 miles of range. So we should be okay. It's saying we're going to arrive with 25%. So even if it's wrong by 50% of what it's predicting, we're still going to have ample charge to get to the hotel. The hotel has an EV charger for overnight, so we can go on our way tomorrow. Stopped at a 6.7 kilowatt level 2 charger and had a nice long, I guess it would have been a dinner at this point, and enjoyed ourselves. 214 miles of range. I've had lots of gas cars that don't have that range. There's not a single gas station on this highway. We'd be in the same boat in an EV or a gas vehicle. Just as much trouble. We are currently 106 miles from our destination, and we have 161 miles of range, so our anxiety's starting to calm down. Would you agree with that, love?
Just a bit.
Just a bit?
Just a bit.
Just a bit, yeah. Can you kids believe we are over 7,000 feet above sea level in Lake Tahoe?
Nope. And I did not like it at all.
Why?
Because we could have fallen off any time.
How could we have fallen off?
Because if we're on a mountain and there's a lake, right? There has to be a humongous waterfall. So if we're in the lake, we could fall from the waterfall. So this half is the water, and this half is the car. Alright, so we could just be driving, then we make such a sharp turn that we fall into the water.
Is that what you think would happen?
That's not possible, Julia.
No, we would have rolled down the hill. I think we would have been happy to make it to the water, because the roll down the hill, we'd be probably want to wash off after all the pain that we just went through. Probably want to soak in that nice warm Lake Tahoe water. But we probably wouldn't have made it that far. What have you guys learned about driving an electric car as long as we've been driving it?
Dad got electrocuted from the Tesla. And the windows in the back are very small.
Actually, Tesla's done a fantastic job and has a fantastic charging network. Do you like the electric car, Charlie?
Yeah.
What do you like about it?
I like the wheels.
Yeah, oh, nice. What else do you like?
I like the food.
Oh, come on. What else do you like? What else do you like about the electric car?
I like the phone.
Oh,
The phone?
Yeah. I think he means the board, like the dashboard thing.
maybe the dashboard.
Sophia, what did you learn about driving an electric vehicle?
When you're parked and you turn off the car, it makes a light show. It says Mercedes-Benz. So first it has like stripes and then the Mercedes-Benz stars, and it moves the stripes side to side, and the stars fade away, and then it says Mercedes-Benz EQS.
My dear sweet love that made this trip possible. What did you learn?
Well, I've learned a lot, but what I've appreciated is, especially with Milo, whenever we've needed to leave the car and leave Milo inside the car, we were able to turn on the AC for him while the car was still shut off.
And what do you not like about doing a long road trip in an electric vehicle?
I mean, just the anxiety factor. There needs to be more charging stations.
Realistically, you need to be planning correctly. You should stay at hotels that have EV chargers, even though from what we've learned, the fancy hotels don't often have the EV chargers when you're going to remote areas like this. Marriott franchise has a great franchise of, the Fairfield Inn suites and the Spring Hill suites, and they're actually nice rooms, nice hotels. nothing fancy, but they all seem to have EV chargers and they're really convenient to access. For an early adopter doing a road trip like this, it's beneficial to be able to stay at hotels like that because they often have available chargers when you arrive, because there's not a lot of people that are as crazy as us to make this drive. You know, those are basically the things that you need. You know, once you have that all in place, it makes it fairly easy. Comment in the sections below. Let us know some of your crazy road trips. Not necessarily just for an EV road trip, but a big family road trip like this. I mean, we round trip, we did over, well, by the time we get home, we would have done over 6,000 kilometers. Let us know what are the best things to do, especially when you got children involved, when you got a pet. Let us know. We'd love to hear your stories. Love to share them with everybody else. Watching the percentage go up. That's something you'll never get in a gas vehicle, where you see your actual fuel grow. Pretty neat. So now we're down to 5,000 feet, but this is fantastic. I mean, this is just recuperating. So we'll check in a bit. We have approximately an hour and a half until we arrive, and we're currently sitting at 45% charge with 139 miles of range and 89 miles left to go.
We are in the middle of nowhere watching a long train pass that we have been watching for 10 minutes.
Yes, this is correct. So we are currently in,
Plymouth.
anyone who's
we're
watching
saying
this,
it
I hope
properly.
we're saying it properly. We tried to Google it, but we couldn't get an answer. But Plymouth Falls is where we are. It's late. It's been a long day. We're just waiting for a train to clear. And yes, the end of the train is here. This is fantastic. We have made the journey. We currently have 21% remaining, and we have 64 miles left of range. We are currently 6 miles exactly from our destination. It's saying that we're going to arrive with 19% charge. When we started this journey from our last location, which was Susanville, California, it said that, you know, we were going to end up with approximately 40 kilometers, call it 25 miles of range remaining once we got to our final destination, and we actually bested that. We're now going to arrive 56 miles more than what actually it had said that we were going to arrive with. We're going to credit a lot of that to the strong recuperation that we had it set to. A lot of the downhills helped a lot. That was fantastic. But how was everyone feeling? Was everyone anxious a bit if we were going to arrive?
Yes,
Were you anxious?
definitely.
Everyone was a little bit nervous?
Well, I wasn't that nervous, but when we were on the tippy top of the mountain, I was about to scream my head off.
Were you really? Okay, but what about on this last stretch here? Were you ever concerned we were going to run out of electricity? Starting with Sophia.
No, I was not.
Okay. Julia, were you anxious?
No, but I was anxious when we were about to die at the tippy top of the mountain.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry.
Charlie, your turn. Were you anxious at all? Were you scared, Charlie, at all on this drive?
Yeah.
What was scaring you?
The mountain. The mountain.
Okay, no, but on this drive, did you think that the battery was going to run out of power? Yeah. Okay, so only Charlie was concerned. Were you happy when you got to eat chocolate-covered pretzels? Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah, was that the best part? Okay.
I
Mona,
personally hate
my
chocolate-covered pretzels.
loving, devout wife who supported this crazy adventure. How did you feel on this last stretch
I mean,
here?
when am I not anxious? Let me just, when am I not anxious? I mean, I feel like after what happened to us in the desert, I feel like my anxiety went up again. Driving down to California, I wasn't that anxious. But then on our first drive, when we left California and we were in the Mojave Desert, and then we literally stopped to charge at 14%, I feel like my anxiety, 13, my anxiety started
14 was a
climbing
stretch.
again. And then today, when we mapped out the different chargers, I feel like my anxiety climbed
Now
again.
turn
So
left towards US 97 northbound.
it's hard not to be anxious.
We only got 19% left.
See what I mean?
Okay, are we happy to finally be at the hotel?
Finally.
Oh, yeah, it's
Oh
dark
my.
outside. We left in the
Though?
morning.
Okay, everyone,
and
we
now it's
will
dark.
see you
morning and now it's
tomorrow
dark
for
outside.
our next journey to
Now turn
Ellensburg,
right then and reach
Washington.
destination.
Perfect. We traveled today 420 kilometers from South Lake Tahoe to Klamath Falls, Oregon. We had to charge once And that only cost us $12.24, bringing the total to $69.70 since we left Los Angeles. This same distance would have cost us well over $200 in the GLS. Join us for episode 10 as we carry on to Ellensburg, Washington. Please like, turn on your notifications, and subscribe to our channel. We'd love to hear your stories.